welcome to Manga. I am Asian Manga, and I am so unbelievably sorry about this. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in so long. It's just, I recently got my first job, and I've been mainly focusing on that. I've been sleeping in real late because it's a nighttime job, and I mainly have been doing my stuff in the afternoons and at night. So that's been cutting into my time, but I'm just doing this now because I feel so bad. Like recently I looked at my site and I noticed I got like 2 new subscribers, which is great for me, but I feel so bad. I am so sorry that I haven't uploaded in the last 2 weeks. But I'm coming back with Record of Ragnarok. I put a hint at the end of my Berserker Power Up video that I was going to do a Dr. Stone video that I had been reading. Like I'm up to very modern in Dr. Stone. I really like it. I'm planning on making a Senku video for Dr. Stone. I love Dr. Stone, and Senku is my favorite character in the whole series. I just love him. And I'll get to that. Also, I've been thinking about Record of Ragnarok recently, and since this chapter came out, at the end of the video, I will be basically talking about a whole bunch of stuff I've been thinking about Record of Ragnarok, especially my favorite character in Greek mythology, and who I feel should be in the tournament, but I feel is being saved for later, which I was kind of pissed when he originally wasn't on the list. I'll get to that later. Now, we get to the chapter. Raiden has just basically had his face singed by Shiva with his war dance, basically, which looked awesome. Wait, did I make a previous video? I just realized. Have I uploaded the previous thing? I don't think so, but I'll make this one and I'll eventually get to the previous one. But like, this basically chapter is summed up with Raiden's backstory, but also Raiden hasn't really been going all out in this tournament. Like for his whole life, he's been having to suppress his strength. It basically sums up. He had the 100 seals that basically suppressed his power. And also when he gained his sumo ability, when he trained to be a sumo, he also basically sealed away 4 incredibly powerful moves that we get to see one of them in this chapter. I'm not going to try to say the name of it because I will butcher it to hell. All of them. I am not good with pronunciation. If I've heard it, I'm good with hearing it in an anime. I'm not good with hearing it I'm not good with pronouncing it from a manga. I'm just not good at that. Like if I read a character, I don't even really notice a character's name. I just know that when they're talking about a certain character and I know the face, that's really where I go with the character. But these sumo, I just love it. Like every single sumo in this whole thing is like, Raiden's not going down this easy. He's got to keep on going. He's not even gone all out yet. This fight is not over yet. Because, yeah, after seeing your main fighter just have most of his body basically the skin melting on the guy and then refusing together, that's gonna be kind of a bit of a downer. But, oh my god, Raiden has not gone all out yet. Like, he broke the 100 seals, now he's fighting at 100%, and in fact, he's fighting similarly to Zeus. Like, Raiden's actually using similar techniques, like his increase his muscle mass and then compress it like the Animus form that Zeus did. So Raiden is actually using similar techniques to Zeus, which I'll get to a whole bunch of that stuff later about theories and all that. But like we see all these sumos basically being like, you think Raiden's going down this easy? And in fact, one of the sumos has a scar of Raiden's handprint on his chest. So basically, Raiden is not going all out. He is going to try his best. And in fact, that scar is when Raiden had the 100 seals and I think wasn't even going all out. And like we get to learn about this guy who I've been wondering, like he's the 5th top ranked sumo of all time. Like he was the 5th of the top ranked sumos of all time. But he trained Raiden. He took Raiden under his wing. We learn about that, and we get a scene of Raiden when he was a kid, how he was just watching a sumo match, and even with the 100 seals on him, he was freakishly strong. Like, we see him lift boulders, we see things that he easily lifts with one hand as a 5-year-old that grown-ass men have to use their entire body to carry. And Raiden is just a beast. Like, even like seeing some of the feats just by when he was 5 and like in his early years, seeing how strong he was and having to hold back his whole life, this is incredible. Raiden, I feel like I've been underestimating Raiden. Like, to me, Raiden, I didn't really care about this fight in the beginning, like all the other fights I've cared about, but this fight, after the Jack versus Heracles fight, I just didn't know how I was supposed to feel about it. It just felt like that was my favorite fight of the whole series, because Jack's my favorite character, Heracles is my second, and Adam's my number 1, Jack, then Heracles. And I just love that fight. It's my personal favorite. Adam versus Zeus is my second favorite, Sasaki is my third, and Lubu versus Thor is fourth. I don't know how this fight is going to go. It's really starting to ramp up. I felt really downgraded in this fight at the beginning. I didn't really feel the connection. I liked Raiden. Shiva I didn't like that much, but after like Shiva's backstory and with Raiden's backstory, I actually do like them. I like them both more, but there's no real connection. There's no real duality, but I think it's just like, yeah, I think I understood it. Like, these two have always like held back. They've never really gone all out. They've always had to hold back against each other, against the whole world. Like, Shiva held back against Raiju, always felt like his friend was better, and a whole bunch of stuff. He had to hold himself back, and he never really went all out in many fights. Shiva was just a lazy guy. Raiden had to help. I think that's like they both have to hold each other, hold themselves back. And like Raiden, that's what I think the connection is. Shiva is a person who holds himself back out of like his own personal preference. Raiden holds back because he doesn't want to hurt people. That's what I got so far. I don't know if I'm wrong, like what the duality is. And plus, getting back to the chapter, Shiva and, Raiden is, when he was 5, he basically wrecked some kid at sumo, and basically everybody was scared of him because he's like a 5-year-old taking on, I guess, would be like a 10, 13-year-old is the time period I get. And then Raiden's like, gets ostracized by the kids, and basically, and his mom asks, "Hey Raiden, what are you doing? Why aren't you playing with the other kids?" And Raiden's like, "Mom, why does God hate me?" Because he's a freak of nature. Yeah, he's a freak of nature. And like, this is the best mother so far. We haven't really seen, like, the only other mother we've seen in this series, I think, is Eve, but she's the mother of all humanity. So that's she's probably a good mother, kind of like Adam. She considers all of humanity her children, just like Adam does, and I just respect the hell out of that. But I'm guessing she's not as powerful as that. I'm getting on a tangent. But she, like, the only two mothers we see in the series besides her is Jack's mom and Eve. Which, we haven't seen much of Eve's parenting, but we've definitely seen, like, this woman's parenting, and she is a nice mother. Jack's mom was an absolute fucking... But, I love it. She's nice, she's compassionate, she loves her son. And she just loves it. And I have a theory. Like, Zeus is, well, you know Zeus from Greek mythology. He has a whole bunch of kids. You know, it'll probably be a while just listing how many kids he has, but I'm not gonna list that. It's just, basically, everybody is related to Zeus in some way. In fact, his wife is his sister. That is true. But I'm just guessing, like, I'll get to it later. And, like, he is super strong. Like, all these feats that we get to see of Raiden when he was a kid, and people say that, oh, if nothing would have happened, he would have been like a local legend. But then a volcano erupted and basically ruined everything. people starved to death, people plagued, everything was destroyed, the ash destroyed the crops. It was basically a bad time, and then the worst. One of the worst scenes I've seen this in this whole thing. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad scene, it's just the worst scene. Like, it makes me feel terrible because it's a kid going up to his mother saying, "Mom, I'm hungry, please wake up, Mom." And it's just, that makes you feel so bad. Like, that's what I mean by it's the worst scene, because it makes you feel the most terrible. And Raiden's like, I just can't do nothing. I'm super strong, so I'm pretty sure Raiden's going through his time. I'm pretty sure with somebody with my skill and strength, people would pay for my skills. And then Raiden basically leaves this town basically being like, I'm going to help these people. And Raiden just runs around and just tries to find it. And then he finds a sumo ring. A sumo training area. And when we see Raiden, it seems to have been a while because he looks really disheveled and hairy and dirty. Like, he definitely looks like it's been like a few months. Like 2 or 3 months at least. Maybe 6 months at most. Then Raiden goes into the sumo ring and, well, I'm gonna have a fun fact about sumo. The only real fact I know about sumo is because I have a problem with this scene, what I know about sumo, and I might be completely wrong, but like sumo is the reason that they're so fat and that yet they can be so physically strong is because they basically work out hungry. They work out during the day. They have like all their meals so they can put on weight. Basically, they eat very heavily at night and before they go to bed so they can put on more weight and train while they're basically starving and all that. I don't know how the best way to describe it, but they eat a very hearty meal at night, eat very little during the day, so they can just like put on weight. So they're not. I don't know how it works. I can't remember exactly how it works, but that's what I know about sumo. But I really do find it interesting because I've heard about that. It's like the slightest problem I have about this scene, because this sumo seems to be eating a lot more than he should be right now. And then Raiden's like, "Hey, if I could just get a bag of rice from there, that could easily feed a few people and help them out." But like Raiden, like we get to see this guy, and he's like the top ranked sumo, but he's just below the 4th one. He's like the 5th top ranked sumo. This guy is the future top ranked sumo, and he just like challenged Raiden because he sees like a lot of potential in Raiden, and like right now he's one of the top ranked sumos in the world. So it's like very much like, hey Raiden, you better fight this guy and make sure you're impressive, because this is a great honor for this guy to even acknowledge your existence. And Raiden's like, okay, I'm glad to fight. I just never seen this before. And Raiden's like, better go easy, don't hurt them. He's like, I'll be fine. Like Raiden goes in to basically tackle him to the ground, but this guy basically shows how skill can easily surpass basic strength, because that's basically what's been shown in the tournament so far. Like, humans have skill, have training, but the gods have immense power. Like, if you looked like at all the competitors so far, they've been really like skilled. Like, you can't deny that. Like, Sasaki was the greatest loser because he learned from every single fight. He fought some of the greatest people, but he never defeated anybody, but he was so ungodly skilled. And I really like his philosophy. Adam, he was the first man. He was able to copy the exactly all of Zeus's moves, which showed just immense adaptability. That's a really good skill. Lu Bu was amazing with with his abilities, like the Jack. Even Jack was immense at like killing. He had the skills to like kill a person. He was very good at it, which I'm saying, yeah, that's an amazing skill a person to have in the tournament. And this just shows that Raiden, basically, in his base form, he cannot defeat this guy with pure strength. He needs skill. And like this entire fight, yeah, this guy basically owns Raiden, but we get to see what Raiden does to the guy. We get to see like these handprints, like all these bruises that are shaped like Raiden's hands. And like, this guy may have defeated Raiden, but it was a pretty close match, and this is like one of Raiden's first few matches, and he's like, and I bet this guy's thinking, oh my god, this guy is so strong. If I could, and like, he brings up that he wants to train Raiden. Like, people say, hey, I thought you didn't want to have a student, and he's like, I didn't, but I just changed my mind. Sorry. I just changed my mind because this guy has so much potential. Then like we get to see them like training, and then we get to see Raiden's first match, and he had a sponsorship, which, yeah, swimmers are basically sports stars, so they would have sponsorships, I'd assume. And like, Raiden just shows the skill and power that he has. He keeps trying his best, and he keeps winning. He buys a whole bunch of food and just sends it back home, like a good guy. And I respect him. And we get to see, like, I like the traditional Japanese artwork. It looks really cool, but it makes him look a lot more fatter than he actually is. Like, he looks chubby, but Raiden is, I don't mind, Raiden's just a badass. And then we get to see a scene where like this sumo guy is like scared, just terrified of facing Raiden. Like, Raiden has like a flashback to when he was a kid and fought this guy, fought him when he was a 5-year-old, and is like, he got so scared, and like Raiden basically threw the match. And then his teacher shows up to Raiden basically saying, hey, you threw that match. I want to understand what the hell is going on. I know you can do better. I don't see him as like, oh, you failed, that's a failure on me. He's basically thinking, what the hell is going on? Like, he's just pissed off that he knows Raiden can do better. I basically think that's what he's mad about. Like, I know you can do better, why didn't you go all out? And like, when he sees Raiden's face and he's just like crying because he doesn't want to, he feels like right now he's picking on the weak, like he didn't want to. And like, his teacher's like, so that's how you feel, that's why you threw the match. And he's like very understanding, and it's just like, Raiden then seals away his best moves, basically saying Raiden's Forbidden 4, and basically these moves are going to help level the playing field with Shiva. I'm glad like this is brought up, and like we get to see like older Raiden. Like, it's been a few years, like the 5th Yokozuna, I think it is, has died, I think. And then like Raiden's just like an old man, and like all his hair is white, he's got like a beard. And like, he left the ring, and I'm guessing Raiden in that age is still incredibly ripped. And he just like went, yeah, bye. And Raiden never went all out. He never went all out. He never used his best moves. He didn't use his full strength. He didn't, even like the full strength that he had wasn't even his full strength. And then Raiden went up against a god, a being that he can use all his strength against, break the 100 seals, use his forbidden moves, just go all out. And then Raiden pulls out, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the move. Like, Shiva is prepared, he is ready. Raiden just like, his muscles just like, then he compresses it down, and then hits it with like that, and just Shiva goes up to block and basically just rips off 2 of Shiva's arms. So basically right now Shiva is fighting one-handed when he has 4 arms originally. So, and it's just like, I don't think that this is just like the fight over. Like, I'm just gonna get over it, get on to like the rest of the thing, but I don't think this fight is over because Raiden is now using his Forbidden 4. I still think that the Forbidden 4 is going to give an advantage, but Shiva still has to use like his eyes from here. Like, I don't know if that's like a power up, but I'm assuming it is because Shiva was going to open his eyes against Zeus, so I'm gonna get to maybe a relation there. But like Shiva, like right now he has 1 arm when he's used to having 4, and I don't know who I feel like I should win. I like Shiva because he's just, I feel like he's less of a dick, is the best way I can describe it. He's less of a dick. When I first saw him, every time I've seen him outside of his fight, I just thought, oh Shiva, you're just a dick. But no, he's actually a really nice guy, and even though he has 4 wives, although if Shiva does lose, maybe you guys could give me a call. I'd be fine to pick up, maybe talk to you about it. Anyways, like Shiva, I don't believe this fight is over. Shiva still has to open his eyes here. And plus, if Shiva's gonna, like, this is a theory, if Shiva's gonna lose, then that's definitely going to bring up, like, so that has to be factored into the series. Like, one of the top ranking gods has died, like ahead of a pantheon. That is definitely world changing an event. Like, this is my idea. Like, if Zeus, like, the 3 top gods that we have is Zeus, Odin, and Shiva. Although I feel like the Japanese god might be the head god. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. I'll check if that's the top god. I might have it down there, but anyways, I just feel like one of these top gods has to at least die to have like a big effect. Like, if Shiva doesn't lose, I feel like Odin has to die, even though I don't trust Odin. I'll get to it. But Shiva, I definitely feel, is a top tier fighter in this tournament. Like, I feel like people shit on Shiva. Yeah, he was a dick, but I like him now. And I don't know if I don't know who I like more, Shiva or Raiden. I've liked Raiden longer than Shiva, but I still do like Shiva because of his backstory. Now, to get to like my thoughts about Raiden and Zeus's relationship, like, I'm gonna go with a mythology route. Like, maybe Zeus turned into like Shiva, like Raiden's mother's husband, and you know, got it on, had like a relation with her, and gave birth to Shiva, because his techniques are very much like Zeus's. But my thoughts is that maybe you could say, oh, Raiden's like a demigod. Like, that's why he's so freakishly strong. Like, yeah, you have the Valkyries, who you could definitely say are the demigods of the series, but I could definitely say that, like, Shiva definitely has a relation to Zeus, because his moves are very similar, like muscle compression. I'm pretty sure that it won't be any relation, but it's that close, I just don't know how to feel about it. I just feel like there's a relation there because the moves are so similar. Like, the compression of muscles, the increase of muscles, like, that when I saw that, I thought that's very much like Zeus, his animus form, but like, I only picked it up while reading this chapter, and I was thinking, so similar to Zeus. I wonder if there's a relation. So probably not, but in my own head canon, there is. Now, let's see. I'll get on to, like, maybe some thoughts about after, like, the tournament, or before the tournament ends, like, some characters that I hope show up, like my boy Hades. Like, I don't know if I mentioned it in the beginning, but Hades is my favorite Greek god, because in Greek mythology, he's not a bad guy. He's not the bad guy. If anything, Ares is the bad guy, and Kronos and all those other guys, they're the bad guy. Hades is just the guy who runs the underworld. What he does is ferry souls to where they deserve to go. Whether you're a good person, you go to a good place. You're a bad person, he sends you to the bad place. That's all he does. And the only real bad thing I could say Hades does is get his wife. But he made a deal with Zeus and a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, he may have tricked her, but that's one of the least prickish things that the Greek gods have done, basically. Medusa, Spider Chick, basically a whole bunch of stuff, Hera, and all of Zeus's kids. I'm just saying, a lot of the other gods have done a lot worse things, and I just hate how Hades is basically, after the Disney Hercules movie, Hades is just like the analysis for like, he's just the stand-in for the devil, basically. If you want to have a character basically as the devil, but you don't want him to be the direct devil, you make him Hades. But I just feel like that's screwing over Hades. Like, Hades is not the bad guy in the series. Like, the Disney Hercules movie, I liked Hades in that movie, but it wasn't Hades, if you get my point. That was the devil in Greek mythology, not Hades. Hades is just the guy who does his job. He doesn't like his job, and plus Hades does exist in this mythology in Record of Ragnarok, because we saw like the ages, like it goes Hades, Animus, Poseidon, then Zeus, because Hades is the oldest brother, and I feel like he needs to show a badass streak. I just hate how Hades has been portrayed, but and I heard that the reason that Hades isn't in this tournament is because he's doing his job and just like being like, yeah, you just send Apollo in. Plus, I feel like Apollo has got to be one of the Olympians that I know the least about. Like, I know more about Hermes and that he was really close with Hermes, so maybe that could definitely be like, get a connection with Hermes, maybe they're friends, because like, if you know, like, I know about Apollo having like the worst relationships of all time. Like, basically they all died or turned into plants. That's what basically Hermes did. Apollo happened. That's all I know about Apollo. I don't know any of his strengths. I know he's the sun god, and that's all. And definitely you can get a connection between him and Hermes, because I know that already exists. So, I just feel like all the other Greek gods make sense. Like Zeus, Poseidon, Heracles, and I don't get why Apollo. I just feel like maybe Artemis. Like, there are no female combatants in this series. All they are is male. I don't have a problem with that. It's just males. I just feel like maybe Artemis. Wait, is Artemis the right god? Athena. That's the god. Athena would have been a great addition. Maybe you could swap out Apollo for Athena. Like, that could have made sense, but Apollo doesn't make sense to me. I'm just fine with it, but Apollo personally doesn't make any sense to me. Now, like Odin, okay, there are some gods that I feel like should show up, like definitely Ra, and a lot of the other gods, like Beelzebub as well. That's got to be something. Like, I feel like the other princes of hell or like demon lords are going to be in there. Like, we've seen an Incubus, and we've seen the snake, which I hope was not Lucifer, because if that was Lucifer, he was pathetic. I feel like he was pathetic. He was a prick. He was a sneaky prick. And basically got dealt with pretty by Adam, but still, Adam, you don't know how powerful that guy was. Anyway. Like, let's see. I feel like some gods are definitely going to show up. Like, when Anubis and like Horus, I think it's Horus. No, wait, it's Osiris. When Osiris, that guy should be in Ra. Like, the Japanese gods, like, we already have intro, but we need Raiden to show up. There are a whole bunch of gods, like, in multiple mythologies that need to show up, like, and like some creatures in Greek mythology. Like, I feel like in the background there's something going on. Maybe it's I feel like something's going on in the background, like some gods are aligning with things. Like, these are the gods that I feel like might start shit. Like, I feel like Loki, Hermes, like, I feel like Hermes, Zeus, and a whole bunch of other stuff. A whole bunch of gods in the background are planning something. A rebellion, maybe to overthrow the gods and make them top dogs. Like, Zeus is definitely on top. Maybe I'm just feeling like some feats need to be shown. Like, something is going to go on. And my boy Nikola Tesla better be there to figure it out. Yeah, Nikola Tesla is the person I really want to see in this tournament. I hope for that. Like, he's like Jack the Ripper with me. It's like, why is he in this tournament? He doesn't seem like a fighter. Like, some of the other fighters make sense, but Nikola Tesla is like the odd one out that makes me the most fascinated. And all these other gods, like Hades, my boy, needs to be there. I'd be fine if it's just like, yeah, Hades is evil, but that'd be a little disappointing, but I'd be okay with it, because I've come to expect it. But I hope it's not, because Hades is my boy. But, like, I'm fine with Hades being evil, and him being a part of this. Like, maybe the Jotun, maybe the Titans, maybe the creatures from, maybe a whole bunch of monsters come together and attack the gods while they're at their weakest. Like, their strongest combatants aren't fighting. Like, maybe that's where Athena is, fighting off some of these threats that are coming up. That's what I feel like. I feel like there's something going on in the background. Maybe some gods are aligning with the enemy of the gods to like overthrow the gods and basically put themselves on top. It's alright. We definitely seen the Jotun, we've seen a Titan with Kronos, who was defeated by Zeus, but I just don't know. I feel like there's something going on in the background. Buddha definitely wanted to save humanity, so he definitely helped them out. Heracles was the idiotic version of Buddha, I see. Like, Buddha definitely wants to help people out. Heracles wants to do the same thing, it's just he didn't think about it that much. I'm fine with it, but he didn't think it out that much. So, those are basically all my thoughts, and I do hope that, like, there is maybe the end of the tournament, and then, say, once the final combatant has landed the final blow, then all the shit happens. And, that's basically it. I went on a huge rant, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am so sorry about how late this is. About 2 weeks. I'm so sorry. I'll be doing a One Punch Man video as soon as I can find the chapter, which it's a pain. I'm sorry. And thanks for watching. Like if you like the video. Comment if you have any opinions on me, and subscribe if you just like my content. Don't just subscribe. And have a nice day. This is Weird Manga. I am Agent Manga, signing out.